Um, as for how I'm reading the chat, I'm using the pop-out chat on Twitch, which is, crap. Because it's, not programmed right.
At least apologize. I personally apologize for that being your last name if you're out there in the chat right now.
It was Emerald's fault for pronouncing it that way.
I said Nod Zach. Nod Zach.
That's close enough.
But that's his name. His name is Nutsack. You nutsack? Oh, Spar.
Oh shit, bees!
Not the goddamn bees! You just do a spin attack to get rid of them or something?
No, they do just go away after a while though.
Oh, so they're just there to be annoying? Or do they do damage, or...?
Oh, they actually do damage, much like the bees in Twilight Princess did.
I see. Was that an arc on the slingshot?
Yes.
Neat.
How close am I to where that goddess cube is?
The hives are collectibles?
Yes.
What the fuck? Who's
Go
collecting?
across the road first, okay. Can't quite hit from that distance. You've got to knock that hive down first before you can go across.
I am going now to be right back for a moment.
Alright. No, I won't be getting every goddess cube, no. Alright, I'm just gonna go around, that's easier anyway. Child's Play is a charity that buys toys and games for kids that are bedridden in hospitals, and will be there for quite some time. If you'd like to donate, you can click the link below the stream. That'll take you to the pitch-in widget. Enter your name and the amount you want to donate, and then finalize in PayPal. If you'd like to leave a note for us to read on the stream, well, it'll be Emerald's reading it once he comes back anyway. There's a link on PayPal that says note to seller, /ad. Click that and put in your message, and we'll read it on here. If we reach $7,000 by the end of the marathon, which is probably likely, Tom will be playing freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. For this game, if we reach $400, I'll be getting the Hylian Shield, and if we reach $500, I'll be getting the I'll be doing the side quest for the item check girl later on, of course. I kind of figured that, because in hero mode you have the upgraded Skyward Strike that travels much further. I figured this would happen.
And I make my return.
Right as I fall into the abyss.
I saw that.
I once had a recording session of this game, you know, I actually tried to record this once, where I fell off that rope, probably about 6 times in a row.
Wow. How?
Just couldn't get it. By the way, the recording of that game didn't work out because the 6th dungeon somehow got overwritten with a 15-second clip of the song select screen from Guitar Hero Metallica. I still have no idea how that happened.
Yeah. It's probably one of the more random things I've heard. Link, you must rock the fuck out.
I think I actually know what happened. That was around the time that I was starting to try to live stream from my capture card. So I was working with a capture card and I clicked the record button and it recorded over that file. Because I don't think it ever came up with a warning saying that it was going to overwrite it. So, GG software. We couldn't do the sequence break.
Why you're a computer major.
We couldn't do the sequence break, by the way. It's only available in hero mode.
Ah, I see. Because I'm assuming your Skyward Strike goes a longer distance or something?
Yes.
Ah, well, I was actually right.
There's a few goddess cubes you can get that way. In the hero mode, earlier than you're supposed to be able to get them. I didn't know about the sequence break there, though.
This is a dungeon. I'm just letting you know before you go in.
This is a point that Tom has brought up in the past. I think he brought it up during his playthrough. And I've said it a few times myself. The dungeons in this game are made for the entire purpose of being dungeons. It's not like you're just going through a forest and it turns out to be a dungeon, or, you know, a volcano. It's like, these are actually temples that are made to house this thing and have puzzles. And it's kind of like, okay, yeah, but there's only so much you can do when you're purposefully setting things up as a dungeon. It's a weird nitpick, I guess, but it's like, instead of...
Like in Twilight Princess, the Fire Temple was literally this mine in a volcano that just happened to carry an evil in it because of some curse or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it gives you a very cool, sort of unique atmosphere.
Or the City in the Sky, which was actually something other than a temple. Or, you know, the Ice Mansion, which wasn't a dungeon in the slightest, but
Fuck
housed
that.
a thing.
Fuck the Water Temple. Fuck it. I hate it so much.
That's something for Digi to go over on Monday, though.
I don't even remember why I hate that dungeon so much. I hardly remember anything from it.
Because the center area makes every direction look exactly the same, and you have to turn the stairs around a lot.
I probably got lost a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy to get lost in that one. Tom's actually expressed interest in starting the Tales of games, so Symphonia could be a possibility.
Interesting.
So there's two ways to do this. Actually, there's three ways to do it. You can just climb up the vines, and then the Dekubaba rapes you, basically. You could do what I did, and stun the thing, then climb up. Or you could just hit the switch with the slingshot. You have to be pretty precise with the aiming on that, though. But yeah. Also, here, I got fucking stuck here my first time, because I didn't know you had to do this to the eyes. Like, there was basically no indication to do that.
Haven't you played Super Mario 64?
No.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, I have.
You know, you think you know people.
I mean, you know very well I played 64 DS, and I have tried to play a bit of 64, but I just...
I can't. You don't even platform?
No, I don't. We
I
know
know.
this by now.
Yes.
Me and platforming does not go together.
They also do not go together.
Words. I'm killing things. I don't need your grammar.
Yes, but you're killing things because you don't know grammar. If you knew grammar, you could be a successful engineer. And then these puzzles will be child's play. Or something.
I'm a computer scientist. Grammar does not exist to me. Actually, no, grammar does exist. It just has a very different meaning. Hey, look! Spiders! Oh, I hate
Go to the
spiders.
store to buy some eggs. If they have milk, get 6 eggs. No, wait. You know what I'm talking about. I'm forgetting how that one goes. It's a programming joke.
Yeah. I know the joke you're talking about. I don't necessarily remember how the joke works.
I'm sure someone in the chat will.
Do I not sound enthused to you? I am kind of playing Skyward Sword. And I hate this dungeon so much. It just drags on forever. Like a lot of this game.
What makes this dungeon so bad?
It drags on forever. It's not nearly as bad as the first dungeon in Twilight Princess, where you've got to spend half an hour getting to the first monkey, only to find out, oh hey, there's actually 7 more monkeys.
We've got a very nice $30 donation from our very own TJ in the chat. Hey HFC guys, haven't been able to donate more than 77 cents until now, but I've got some money, so here's my share for the marathon. Keep up the good work, and here's to many more great moments. Hashtag Ford the children. Not for, but Ford.
Yep. Apparently the joke is, a programmer sent to the supermarket with the instructions to buy butter, and if they have eggs, buy a dozen, and he returns with 12 sticks of butter.
Right.
Joke is, if they have butter, then, or if they have
But-
eggs, then you get 12 butters.
Because the condition was met.
Yeah, and that's how programming, a part of programming works anyway.
It's extremely strict. You have to be stupidly precise. You have to be like Nintendo in a tutorial.
Except Nintendo's not good at tutorials. No response to that?
I mean, they have very overbearing tutorials. Therefore, they're not good at teaching you correct. Like, they're not good at teaching in a good way. I don't know how to explain it precisely. But essentially, it's like so many games today hold your hand. But Nintendo is doing the same thing, but in a different, overbearing, protective sort of way. Like, they really don't want you to see anything until you know how to do it.
Yeah, I got hurt by the spider because when I stabbed it, it bounced back. Nice collision damage there.
What time is it where we're at? Right now it's 4 p.m.
It's
And the
5
first
for
bar.
me.
Yep.
And it's starting to get real hot in this room.
You can turn on the fan.
No, I can't.
Too much noise?
Too much noise.
Okay.
I don't even think our daily totals hit 100 yet.
No, it's just under it at $92.25.
Alright. Well, like I said, you've got plenty of time to donate since this is a really, 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 really long game.
At least 14 hours. How much would you say, actually?
The donation incentives honestly aren't going to take very long, like they have for some of the other games. So yeah, 14 is probably a good bet. It's the padding, the flying, and I do actually like doing a couple of the side quests just for the upgrades. And those will add about an hour or so. Okay. So now we go up here. I don't think we'll go longer than Spirit Tracks. I don't think there's that much.
Which is ironic, really.
I still haven't totaled up all the donations from Spirit Tracks, but judging from what we had before I joined and what we got afterwards, I believe that Spirit Tracks is the highest donated of the marathon so far.
I believe it's also been the longest.
It's definitely the longest, yeah. I can't really do...
Bigger circles.
Okay, we've got it now. I'm a bit too close to the TV, so bigger circles means it points off of the part that it can read. Yeah, it's like, I agree with Tom, that shouldn't... that's not something that should prevent you from progressing, because it's not difficult, it's just poorly designed.
Should we start a count for that?
Actually, I was going to suggest we have a count for how many times the Motion Plus fucked up. So, sure.
Alright, count one.
Again, it's not the fact that it was easy or difficult, it's the fact that the controls were screwing up and weren't made to be that precise. Easy and difficult had absolutely nothing to do with that. It's that you have to be precise, and the system isn't precise. Yeah,
I could defend it by saying it was a system made in 2006, but we also have the Xbox over there.
See, the thing is, it's alright to say, yeah, I was too close, so I was the one screwing it up. But that shouldn't have been a problem regardless. Like, that shouldn't have taken that long, whether I was, you know, too close or not. I shouldn't have had to try it that many times.
Spire does suck sometimes, but there's a difference between doing it bad and it being bad.
Yeah. Like, I will say that I am not good at this game. You've seen me trying to fight the Bokoblins, and I just keep hitting their swords and whatnot.
Yeah, what Tom said, motion control just as well ruins immersion.
Yeah.
This is our first temple here.
Mm-hmm. I think it's actually possible to get stuck in this room somehow. I want to say. Oh, it's the second visit if you come back in here, I think.
What makes it impossible? Or possible, rather?
Basically, you walk in, the door gets stuck because it's designed to lock anytime you walk in, and unlock only after you use the beetle to hit the thing outside. But if you've already hit it once, then you can't hit it
Well, that
again.
is the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard.
Yeah. Temple and dungeon are kind of the same thing.
They're the same thing, essentially. Well, actually, no, there is a difference to an extent. Like, the water temples and the forest temple and the temples in Ocarina of Time are temples. You know, it's hard to explain it, but they were made to with icons of the goddesses, and they were made with the purpose of testing a warrior and being where you fix problems, essentially.
It's more like the difference is in the context of the story
Yeah,
rather than the design of the place.
because no matter what, they're all dungeon area puzzle things that you have to go through.
Can't quite hit that yet, okay.
This thing seems pretty cool.
It's... excuse the pun. It's kind of buggy. But yeah, it's actually pretty useful. It's one of the few items that you actually use a lot in this game. Because it's useful for a lot of things, really. My mom was watching me play this once, and she liked the beetle. And keeping in mind she knows, like, basically nothing about games, so...
Window into the life of Spar. Of upgrading dungeon items as incentives? It's up to Spar if he wants to add more incentives on.
That's just grinding. That's not really something that should be donated for. Because all that is, literally, is I go grind for items, and then I upgrade them. So... not the most interesting thing in the world. I don't think this path actually has a purpose. The other one has rupees on it. This game being better than any other is purely opinion. Like, as I've said, I love playing this game. But it's not good from a design standpoint. There's so many things that impede progress that really shouldn't. Yeah, like...
It's like what Tom says. Nintendo has this habit of making really great ideas and then not implementing them ever again.
And Damien, I'm just gonna say, there's no such thing as a true opinion. An opinion can't be true. If it's true, it's therefore...
is your own ideas.
Yeah. If an opinion is true, it's then a fact.
And there's this stupid bullshit thing that school will tell you where facts can also be false. Which is kind of stupid. I never really liked the argument the graphics suck for games, especially that are stylized, essentially. Like, you can say you don't like the graphics style, but you can't say the graphics suck. That's just silly.
Not necessarily. There are games where the graphics actually do suck. One of the first games on the PS3 was a Gundam game, and the graphics looked worse than PS2. Honestly, it looked like it had been made for the PS1. That's how bad it looked.
Wow.
Like, that is a case where you can say the graphics are bad. Like, and by the way, saying a game is good is not an opinion. Saying you like a game is an opinion. Good or bad depends on the quality of the game, not how much you like it.
Which is one of those really weird subjective things.
Yep.
Like beauty, where it's in the eye of the beholder, as the phrase goes.
Spiders are a lot easier to take care of. The Sculptulas are a lot easier to take care of when they're not on the threads. All you gotta do is flip them over and then do the stab.
I'm just gonna say, admin, you're arguing for the sake of arguing, and that never proves to be a good thing.
Yeah.
The ability to, when your health is full and you run into a fairy, not have you pick it up is a nice little detail. It's a little feature that you're going to remember, because you will always remember the little things in games more than you will the big motifs and whatever, typically. Because those little features make you say, oh, they put effort into this game, and you remember that.
Yeah, one of the big things I hate in this game is not being able to swing your sword while moving. Which was a big thing in Twilight Princess. Even the Wii version.
Admin, just stop right now. Nintendo, I'm convinced, is legitimately marketed by monkeys.
That was more like, the only way to do a big circle is for basically the top part of the Wiimote to go at a part where the angle can't hit the sensor bar. And what happens is the sensor bar is what reads the info from the Wii Motion Plus. It doesn't use the infrared, it just uses the gyro sense. So, not being able to hit the Wii sensor causes the sword to kind of stick in place while I'm trying to make a circle, and that's what's causing problems with that.
Yeah, I was actually just looking over the donations, Tom. We've got 3 donations in right now. $2.50 from Russell Hockey. $20 from Carolou Aginas, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And $2.69 from a Utaki Martin. Let's see if there's any new comments to go with those donations. Ah, there's one for each of them. Russell, pineapples, and Zeldathon. This is gonna be good. Carolou, gonna donate money so I can plug Skullgirls. Everyone go get Skullgirls one fighting. And so I can make Tom get fresh Tingle Rupees. Skullgirls is a very good fighting game. I do recommend it myself. Utaki, got a few questions. 1, any chances you're gonna get any heart pieces through this playthrough?
Well, I've already picked up 2. I'll get the ones that I see along the way.
2, favorite and worst item in the game?
Favorite item? I actually really like the beetle.
Yeah, I'm really digging this beetle.
For least favorite, I'd say the changes that they make to the bow. Because rather than the sensor bar with the pointer like in Twilight Princess, it uses the Motion Plus and the gyro sensor to control basically how the bow aims, and also it has a charge time if you don't know the trick, although it does have the trick there on screen. It's just not clear about it. Mostly it's the charge time and not really explaining very well how to get around it.
Alright. And the third and final question, what do you dislike about this game the most?
Padding.
Don't we all hate that?
Stuff that you have to do for really no reason.
This brings us over $100, by the way. Thanks to Carolou for giving that push that we needed.
Also, times when you have to do a diagonal strike and the Wiimote refuses to read a diagonal strike. Which is really more times than it should.
This brings our donation total up to $115.44. Way to go. On the topic of Skullgirls, I saw a Swede say, wouldn't want to play a game because of anime-based designs. For those of you who would have that problem, the kind of overt design is just there to be a thing. I don't know, the game's actually got a really nice story overall.
The graphics shouldn't affect the gameplay.
Well, it's a fighting game with an entirely female cast.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you have a problem with the graphics, that doesn't really affect the gameplay so much. And there are games where the graphics can actually affect the gameplay, like preventing you from seeing something that you should be able to see.
Well, he shortly thereafter said, and I also suck ass at fighting games.
So, that guy just kind of ran off the edge to his death.
Man. I love the design of the Skullgirls. Like, every single frame of animation is animated separately. Like, just seeing the game in motion is pretty beautiful. That's right, we are getting one male character in that game. Which is kind of weird, but whatever. Well, I'm watching me. That is because I am enthused. I know that was sarcasm, but I'm taking it as seriousness. You can use Safari Hedgehog Gaiden. Okay. I've just been called Skeletor. Yeah. Yeah, Opera, I guess. I don't know how you have a computer that can't run either of those. Or rather, can't run either Firefox or Chrome.
Failure!
Hey,
Hey, at least it spawns me up here.
Oh, that's nice.
That was just a auto jump off the edge, and then I pressed the A button at the wrong time. A button should never be dropped, by the way.
I don't have a problem with it being drop as long as motion brings me up. As long as the D-pad brings me up, rather.
So, well, it's usually B to drop, because A is usually accept and B is cancel.
Well, how do you know you're not accepting falling to your death?
I don't accept that shit.
Spar is an independent black woman who is taking none of your shit.
Oh, and I don't like the swinging that much either. Good news? You don't lose hearts from falling down a bottomless pit.
Wow, actually, I noticed that. Spar, are you using light or pro interface at the moment?
Light.
There you go. Whatever that means.
The thing on the right, the pro interface I think shows nothing. The light interface shows the buttons without the controller overlay.
I see.
Death count none. Bottomless pit count 3, I believe.
We're probably not going to be getting a death count.
Not until very much later, at the very least.
Final dungeon?
Not even final dungeon, more like, the boss rush. And even then.
Just because the Mac is old doesn't mean it can't run a modern browser.
Unless, of course, you've tried and it actually can't.
For some reason. I still can't get over the fact that heart plants are like in bloom or something. They're just wild.
And it's explained in Minish Cap that the Minish are the ones that put hearts and rupees in the grass. This game is before Minish Cap, so did the Minish already exist? Specifically, did they exist in Skyloft as well? Questions, man. Questions. Well, that was a puzzle.
Wow. What is this, Skyrim puzzles? Where literally all you do is move the claw a different way, or press a lever, you're done. Oh man, Skullgirl's soundtrack is probably it's all overall a very beautiful game. The animation is great to look at, the online is very decent, music's gorgeous, the stories are nice, and there's more things on the way. If you buy the beta right now, which I recommend you do, it's only $15. I think it's $15.
It's Darth Fabulous!
Sparkles. Sparkles. Gaston's theme right here. Oh jeez. It's time to storm the castle.
Facial expressions.
His nose, dude.
Angry time. By the way, creepy trigger in a few seconds. Look away if you don't like being freaked out.
What?
Alright. Boss time. Time to cheese the absolute fuck out of this boss, too.
Oh my god, he is fabulous.
There's a trick to this as well. That's why I mean cheesing it. What happens is, whichever way you hold your sword to the left to the right, he holds his hand to the side and he'll catch it when you swing. But if you hold your hand with the Wii remote to the right, and then move the remote to the right, you do a left to right swing, so he can't grab the sword anyway.
That's pretty neat. This guy is pretty cool so far as a character. I like him as a villain. And we hardly know anything about him.
That's okay, you don't learn that much about him anyway.
Well, honestly, not knowing much about him is kind of just the way it should be. Well, at least in Zelda games.
Aww.
We just need a boss to look cool.
Link! What are you doing turning around?
Like, that angry mode was genuinely threatening looking.
This fight is basically the one that teaches you how to shield bash. Like, if you haven't learned it by now, this is where to learn it. Oh,
Come on, Spare.
Oh, that's right, you can spin. I forget that's an option sometimes. Obviously, don't do that when he's in front of you. Don't like when it goes into the Skyward Sword thing. Skyward Strike, I mean. It's like if you hold the sword up, or the Wii Remote up in any way, it tries to lock to the Skyward Strike, and then you're kind of stuck in that for a second. That was a horrible run.
I thought it was nice. The way that you drove the boat underwater was cool.
We have the Skyward Sword. It's the goddess sword. We got a heart container! I like the design of the heart containers too. It's pretty cool.
Literally woo. Speaking of having a heart, we got a new donation in from our very own Dr. Corporal British yet again. Donating for $5 donation. Donating for all the peeps who cannot donate, i.e. Great Ninja Morgan, Dr. Sout, and others. So I apologize for multiple small donations. Well, I don't mind. Small donations keep donations coming in, period. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of actually nice to have them over, longer periods of time. It's still the same amount, no matter how you space it out. Rhyming.
If you want to be specific, no, we never get a sword actually called the Skyward Sword. By the way, this is back here.
Wow. Thanks.
And you have to do that here, or else you won't be able to get it until you come back to the dungeon. Oh no, that's water. I don't need water. Yeah, you do come back here, but if you get that, yeah, I caught a fairy. If you get that goddess cube, you can go ahead and get it once it's in the sky.
Oh, fairies only replenish 6 of your hearts in this game. The music in here is really chill.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the water in this area does specifically serve a purpose later. Which is why we have to come back here. So here's the thing. I like the song that's on right now. Probably my favorite of the songs we learn later on.
There's even more for us. Oh, wow.
Syllables and sentences. Like how Tom's like, Emeralds, did you just have a stroke?
Sorry about that.
What was that?
It was a thing. Not important. But anyways, what is important is the fact that Fee just did the dance of solitude. Because Link is now forever alone.
Okay. Also, you'll notice at the end of the last scene, Fee went back into the sword, and at the start of this cutscene, she came back out. Like the fuck?
We need a dumpster button. Actually, no, you may not get that joke there.
No, I don't.